It's Saturday. It's a good day to have a good day. Hello, everybody. My name's Cece Ray. Thank you for joining me. We are talking about Bethenny Frankel taking to her social media platform, and she is discussing her struggles with POTS. If you don't know what that is, it is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and we are going to get all into it. But first, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because here we break the dish. So we were talking about Bethenny Frankel, and recently she has come out in the open. She did several videos. I saw them myself, first on Instagram and then on TikTok, posting about her struggles with POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Now, this is what the reality blurb, because you know I love them so much. This is what reality blurb posted. In a series of videos, the first of which was shared to her Instagram page, the Real Housewives of New York City alumni explained why her face has looked different in recent makeup tutorials before noting that she's messed up after experiencing a post COVID flare up of the disorder. Many of you are asking why my face looks different in my makeup videos, and it's because I am messed up, Bethany began in February 23rd post on Instagram. I'm not doing that great. I'm so dehydrated and riddled with aches and pains. I've had liters of Pedialyte, water, kombucha, and coconut water. It just goes right through me. And I've gained like 4 pounds while being here because my body's trying to hold on to any water it can. This is, like, very intense, and it's gotten really bad in the last few years since the autoimmune thing I'm dealing with," she continued. "I wake up, like, every 2 hours in such pain and dying of thirst, so it's like my body won't hold on to anything, it's crazy." After contacting her doctor, Bethany was told her health struggles are definitely connected to POTS. Uh, then it goes on and says, according to WebMD, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome is a disorder in which most of your blood stays in your lower body when you stand up. And in response, your heart rate jumps, which can make you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or faint. Other symptoms include blurry vision, nausea, vomiting, brain fog, extreme fatigue, shaking or tremors, body aches, and insomnia. In a video shared on her TikTok page, Bethany broke down as she considered the possibility of not being in good health for her 12-year-old daughter. My real thing is the terror of just not being healthy for her. That's the biggest thing, she admitted. Who cares about the rest of it? I just want to be healthy for her. I want to go on Aspen vacations and take her snowboarding, wanting to live a long life because I have a child later in life. I'm absolutely scared that I do everything to be completely healthy and still sometimes this thing is winning and it's upsetting, she added. In a third clip, Bethany noted that while most people wouldn't show themselves looking like she was, she wanted to be honest with her audience. I posted a picture of myself today on Instagram. I would have loved to filter the black circles and creases under my eyes, but this is me today. She explained, sharing that she'd received several IVs and consumed a ton of salt. This is a disorder that has gotten really much worse since COVID, she went on. People discuss whether it's the vaccine or the virus or itself. I do not know. I am not an expert, but it's absolute fact that post COVID, this thing is a beast, not every single day, but when it is a beast, it's a beast. So I'm not going to keep saying that word because of the algorithms. We all know how that goes. So we'll just call it the C word for now. Um, I definitely think that Bethany Frankel deserves a round of applause because I think she's being honest, she's being vulnerable about her struggles. And it's disheartening to see the comments that followed, especially, for instance, on Reality Blurb, the comments that were so degrading, negative, and basically these people are just not educated. So let me help you out just a little bit, shall we? So this comes from Scientific American. Now, this is discussing Tara Gormley. She's always been an overachiever. She finished at the top of her class in high school, graduated summa cum laude from college, and earned top honors in veterinary school. She went on to complete a vigorous training program and built a successful career. But in March 2020, she got infected with the SARS. We're going to just keep it right there. Just the 24th case in the small coastal Central California town she lived in at the time, near the site of an early outbreak in this pandemic. Almost 3 years after apparently clearing the virus from her body, Gormley is still suffering. She gets exhausted quickly, her heartbeat suddenly races, and she goes through periods where she can't concentrate or think clearly. Gormley and her husband, who have relocated to a Los Angeles suburb, once spent their free time visiting their happiest place on earth, Disneyland, but her health prevented that for more than a year. She still spends most of her days resting in the dark or going to her many doctor appointments. Her early infection and ongoing symptoms make her one of the first people in the country with long COVID, a condition where symptoms persist for at least 3 months or more after the infection and can last for years. And so it goes on by saying people with long COVID have symptoms such as pain, extreme fatigue, and brain fog, or difficulty concentrating or remembering things. The syndrome, as of February 2022, the syndrome, excuse me, was estimated to affect about 16 million adults in the United States and had forced them between 2 million and 4 million Americans out of the workforce, never to return. Long COVID often arises in otherwise healthy young people, and it can follow even a mild initial infection. So, this article goes on, where it's talking about all different things that can happen, um, from symptoms to diagnosis. But I also wanted to read this to you real quick. The dysautonomia impairs the autonomic nervous system, a network of nerves that branch out from the brain or spinal cord and extend through the body, controlling unconscious functions such as heartbeat, breathing, sweating, and blood vessel dilation. Like many people with long COVID, dysautonomia takes the form of, guess what? POTS. That's right. The syndrome encompasses a collection of symptoms that include a racing heart rate, particularly on standing and fatigue, and it can cause bowel and bladder irregularities. POTS can also be a component of the exhaustion that comes with PEM. Also, the symptoms that may seem to affect the body, they stem from nervous system dysfunction. And it goes on about a whole bunch of other things. It's a huge article. I suggest reading it for all the people who wanted to comment negatively about Bethenny Frankel coming out. Take a look at this and educate yourself. Now, why am I saying that? Because my daughter is a long hauler and she got this virus in April of 2020. And ever since then, it has been a real struggle. No, she did not get a bad case of it. No, she did not have any underlying conditions. She was a healthy 14, almost 15-year-old at the time, and now has big, big issues. Not only the symptoms of POTS, but she also has to deal with chronic fatigue syndrome. She suffers with vocal cord dysfunction, GERTS, congenitinitis, which I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but it is an inflammation of your chest. There is not one day that my daughter does not go through pain, is exhausted, and I would say that's a good day. She gets teased, she's been bullied. Our family has been questioned why we still wear masks. This is why. So when you get this virus a couple months later, there's not a red flag in front of you waving that says, okay, now you're a long hauler. It doesn't work that way. It starts with little symptoms here and there. Maybe for some, it might be, God, I'm tired all of a sudden. I'm always tired. Why am I so tired all of a sudden? Or maybe for others, it could be, why am I getting dizzy every time I stand or sit up? The thing is that it happens and it affects a lot of Americans, a lot. And Bethenny Frankel is not one of them. So, for one of the readers that said she needed to eat, no, she does not need to eat. But what all Americans should do is become educated in this. Now, I know that Bethenny Frankel said that she wasn't sure if she got it from the vaccine or from the virus. I can tell you that my daughter got it from the virus because there was no vaccine at the time. And I can tell you that she is right. It is a beast and it is a struggle. And my daughter's future now may look a little bit different. Where she goes to college, how large is the campus? Can she get from class to class? Where the college is located? Isn't it a high altitude? These are things that we have to think about. So, for all those people that want to write negative comments, get educated before you speak because it's not fair to somebody like Bethenny Frankel, and it certainly isn't fair to somebody like me with a daughter who goes through this on the daily. And I can guarantee you there are millions of Americans that are going through this right now. It could be a neighbor down the street that you don't even know that is struggling. So that's why it's so important to become educated. I can't tell you to get a vaccine. I can't tell you to wear a mask. That is your personal preference. It's America. You can do what you want. But what I can tell you is to become educated before you speak on things that you have no idea about. And I think that everyone should applaud Bethenny Frankel for being open and honest and vulnerable in the situation that she's in and her struggles because she has a huge platform. And I think that getting this word out is fantastic, especially for people like my daughter. So, on that note, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Make sure you comment below. Before you do, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because here we break the dish.